teams in this tournament, mostly because of the team name. I love the Shell as a team name. I'm going to say I love Rob the Turtle. I will always root for him because every team he's on, he calls it the Shell. I love that. On the other side, though, this Lies roster, not as well known active, but some shooters on this side. In particular, look out for the Las Vegas native Kid Nasty to really perform in today's tournament. He can just absolutely turn on a switch and change the game at a moment's notice.
Yeah, Kid Nasty is a player I actually got to play with along with Gunplexion. We played a little bit of matchmaking together. Very solid player, great communication, always tries to utilize that small talk, something that a lot of players kind of still struggle with in the scene, but he does a really great job of it. On your screen, of course, we're going to stop on board with Rob the Turtle, the Shell himself. That's a triple kill for him. He's got the heat wave now and the sniper. They're going to be looking for the spawn trap here.
I love how the Shell waits for everyone to get in place. They wait for the primary player, Rob, who comes behind with the heat wave and just cleans them all up. It's about being patient. It's about finding your slays and finding the timing to pull out the flag, and no one did it better than what the Shell were just able to do. But on the other side, it's getting a little bit mixy with the counter pull.
Yeah, it looks like the Shell is going to be getting this return here. Kid Nasty's going to be relaying the flag. He's got some support on this long haul side, but the shot's going to get missed. Bid puts some great shots into Facty. They're going to have to back him off. This is going to go in finally. That's going to be Lies up 1-0.
Right, and sometimes things go great on the initial start, but it's how you adapt in the game that's most important, right? The Shell did everything right, got the flagpole, but they left one player, 7, who got into the back, got the counter out, and well, they capitalize on their opportunities. So yes, you can play the game perfectly, wait for your teammates to pull out flags, get them on the way, but if you don't execute the last phase, getting that flag home, you're going to go broke in the HCS.
And again, we find a little bit of a timing issue there, and you're exactly right. You got to do it correctly. You got to do it in sequence. Unfortunately for Lies, they push up a little too aggressively. They're not able to get the slays necessary. They're going to push back on their base now. It looks like this is going to be a mid. Piles is going to take one shot. It gets cleaned up by Facty instantly there. Rob the Turtle's going to take a snipe as well, but a great cleanup now. 2 down for Lies.
It's so interesting how Lies have been having to play this very passive game where they've given up a lot of the map, letting the Shell play forward, but they've been stiff when it matters, right? When the flag's been on its way, that's when they found their kills, but unfortunately losing this rocket might prove to be fatal for this flag. I just don't see a route where Lies can stop this one from coming home.
EOS was the only thing to stop it there, and it goes down instantly from Piles. It could be a cap right now. What it is, it's going to be tied 1-1 now. Piles doing a job to stay alive here on this training side, and you're going to see they're going to push once again with the spawns from Lies coming out on shotgun side.
And Piles just being so aggressive, getting that opening pick, and you saw how he pulled so much direction towards him, towards that snipe side, but while that was happening, his teammates countering from the other side, able to get that flag out, but Kid Nasty's a turret when he needs them the most, getting that damage down, but Elias giving up too much map control in this early game, and it's proving to be just very hard to play forward. They've recovered a couple times, but you can't rely on this individual slays over and over again.
And that's exactly what we're seeing on our screen. Some individual slays from 7. Sniper in hand, he's staying alive right here, and this is going to be a big play because Rob the Turtle does have his top turret, so if he's able to get this pick, Rob sees him first, he goes down, and this could be the opening that they need. It's going to be a 2v2 situation. It's up to Rob here to clean up this kill on the shotgun side, and he does not. Unfortunately, Piles does clean it up, and that's going to be a sniper now in the hands of Shell.
That's so unfortunate for Rob right there. Little does he know, the natural predator of the turtle is the rat, right? Staying alive in that back base, making the turtle come down into the sewers proves to be fatal. And it shows that sometimes it's not about playing forward and getting the slay. Sometimes it's about the delay, making sure that, yes, this flagpole, it's dead. We're not going anywhere, but you take as many numbers with you. You make it mixy. You destroy the timings that they want to ensure that you're playing more of a 50-50 game and that you don't give up counterattacks.
The Shell doesn't give up anything there. They were 2 dead, but they're able to recover before the push comes through. Stan's got to stay alive right now, though. He is the first pick that they're looking for on Lies in order to push up. It looks like they do get robbed, so you see a little bit of aggression here coming out of Lies on this side of training. And it's up to Stan. This is what he's got to do. He's just got to put damage into them as they push through. They get 2 kills, and this could be the defense that they wanted.
And it's so interesting how this push from Lies developed. This is the first time that we're really seeing Lies play past the 50-yard line, having an attack opportunity. But you saw how the Shell really hardened their line, right? They were able to play all together in a straight line, and it was one player in, next player over. They were making sure that no one was taking too much damage. They kept their numbers and eventually able to push through. Rob getting these rockets might prove to be just enough for a flagpole.
Yeah, Turtle himself is having an incredible game. 14-6 to start off, and a sniper in hand once again. You see Lies trying to be on the aggression here. They do not have a pick, but sometimes these teams play off a damage. Rob's gonna see the opening. He goes through for the damage cleanup. He gets two. They're pushing into the base quickly here. Facti, the only one alive on that sword side. He's got to make sure to play his life and put damage out as well.
A great change of speed right there from Rob, right? Adaptating to what is important in the match. His way that he saw that I have the sniper, right? I shouldn't be that first player through, but realizing the timing was there, wrap that corner, use the trusty BR, gets 2 kills, and now has the flag all the way back. But it's all about these slays, and Rob getting them all to fall down. He is going absolutely ham on the rest of Lies.
Sometimes this is what you need, one player to pop off just like this. Rob 18-7 now. Kid Nasty's trying to make the play here. He gets one, not able to get the no scope on the second, ends up going down as well. That's going to be another cap for the Shell. That's 2 in a row for them. No answer from Lies.
And the Lies are just struggling to stay forward on the map, right? We've only really seen 1 or 2 real attacks from the team thus far. They're 1 flag cap on a counter pull from the Shell. So the Shell really dictating the pace of this map, and it's particular because of this player on your screen, right? Rob and his ability to get these slays and to know when to play forward has just proven to be fatal for Lies.
Halo Infinite is such a team-oriented game, and so little do you see big players shine like Rob is shining right now, able to really turn the tide of this game. Like we talked about, 2 caps in a row. Rob still with a sniper. They make the aggressive push here. 2 players on that sword side. That's going to be a courtyard spawn with 2 dead. They've got the shotgun side blocked as well. So they're going to keep pressuring here, put damage in, and get this flagpole.
And Rob's just been so effective with this life, right? I believe this is going to be number 8 if he can get it. Facti finally took him down, but Rob was basically a one-man army throughout that life, was dictating so much of the pace of the game. And you can see how Lies, once they took down Rob, it kind of opened up the floodgates for them. You start to see them playing much more aggressive, able to play a little bit forward, but sometimes it's a trap. 3 go down. The Rockets are going to at least be able to buy 1 for Facti, but great recovery from the Shell.
And all the while, they're getting another flagpole here. It looks like Bid is going to be pulling that flag towards long haul. Those rockets not as effective as we would have wanted them to be. Only gets 1 kill as his teammates go down as well. And Pyle's just trying to do as much damage as he can on this side. He's distracting right now, Garrett. He's able to put so much damage in, and it's going to put another flag cap on the board. That's 3-1.
And so you just can't cheat slays out in a game, right? And when you look at this game, you're seeing that the Shell just have a clear advantage, and that comes from their forward presence on the map. They're constantly dictating where the fights are happening. They have that slight advantage, and when you keep that slight advantage for 6, 7, 8 minutes, that's when you start to see the kill disparity grow and grow. Lies are constantly seeing the respawn screen, constantly feeling this pressure up front, and the Shell are just creating more and more of a buffer in this game. And this could be a 4 flag cap on its way as Stan pulls.
Individual skill coming into play. Piles does go down first though, so this could be the defense that they need. You got 7 on their side on the courtyard. Bid, it's Bid's job to take him out here. 7's gonna make himself a difficult kill. Bid still does get that kill. And now you see Kid Nasty. He's the last player alive on their side on the green. He's just trying to put some pressure in while he stays alive and plays his life. But unfortunately, Bid does have the snipe at hand, and he's going to be putting some players on respawn.
A huge lib by Bid, right? He doesn't necessarily get this kill on 7, but what he does do is he keeps the sniper in his hand, and now he's giving his team a way to rotate back. But did Bid just miss the 1 player that was forward on the map? Isn't there a player that's hiding in this back base still?
I think there is one. They might have taken him out, but now he aggresses with that information, consistently hitting these body shots, and that's all you need. He cleans them up, gets 2. That's 2 down for Lies. And now you're going to see aggression come in once again.
And Bid's playing forward, but Rob's plus 15 on this game, and it's really showing. The game was very close to start, right? We saw it back and forth. We saw the counter cap, but ever since, the Shell just hasn't had to change the game plan. They've constantly been able to play forward, play aggressive, and with 2 minutes left on the clock, you have to feel it. This is an impossible task for this Lies team, but can they build themselves a little bit of momentum before they go in? Right now, the only sniper on the map in the hands of Lies.
In fact, he's gonna have it. He tries to get the kill. He does and stays alive. This is one of those really important lives right here because he can potentially push off of this. And now they have a little bit of pressure with 3 dead on the Shell. This is their time now to pressure through and watch these spawns. It looks like, as you can see once again, Shell has completely spread on the map. They have 1 guy in shotgun. They've got 2 players on the courtyard side, and they're just able to do so much damage. Look at the defensive wall here from the Shell, but it's not gonna stand. 3 go down.
It's a tough exterior to break, but once you push through, it's all flesh, right? You're gonna see Lies swarm towards this flag, and although they're probably gonna lose this flag, the Shell's not quite concerned about it because of the buffer that they built. They're able to afford to play this this turtle style game, right, where they don't have to play forward for the last couple minutes of the game. And although they'll give up a flagpole, they're not necessarily giving up too much at the end of the day. You're gonna see another flag grab from Kid Nasty, but there's no support for this flag run. Why is in a truly desperate mode?
Yeah, even with all the curb slides you can do, 37 seconds not gonna be enough to cap 3 flags here. Looks like the Shell will take this game, and you see game does go down, and we got to talk about Rob the Turtle. The Shell, the Turtle himself, popping off once again, consistently performing in these open tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, hey, 16 plus 16 on the game, and I expect that from Rob. A little bit of an older head in the scene, right? He's been around for a minute. This man played a lot of Halo 3. On the other side, Lies, I don't think these guys were necessarily around. They might have been in diapers when Halo 3 was around, so I'm going to give them the advantage when it comes to Empyrean. I talked to Kid Nasty. Kid Nasty, this is his first Halo game. It's going to take him a little bit of a time to really get everything together on this Empyrean game time. I mean, the pit's a classic, but you got to learn how to play the pit. And when you got players like Rob who know exactly where the weak parts on the map are, exactly how to play forward, his change of pace was so deadly this game, and just allowed his team to constantly get this flag forward.
Yeah, very well said. There's so many sequences when you play the pit so long. I mean, from Halo 3 up until now on Empyrean, there's so many sequences that you just kind of read. And yeah, if you hadn't played a lot of this map, you're not going to know what those sequences are. So Rob definitely shining on a map like Empyrean, but we'll see if he can shine on this second map in this Slayer. A really, really convincing win by the Shell, and honestly, we'll see if Lies can make a little bit of a comeback here. And Kid Nasty is definitely the player I'm looking at here. I think he's just a really, really solid player. This being his very first Halo, that to me is incredible.
Yeah, he's been playing phenomenal, and you've seen that he's been getting far in these tournaments, but he hasn't quite been able to get over that hump, right? 7 Kid Nasty played together in the last qualifier. They got top 6, so just in the qualifying round from the elimination side, we're not able to get through last time. This time, making a little bit of a team change, right? So 7 and Kid Nasty been playing together for a bit. Facti and Slavonic joining them on this roster, and we'll have to see if it's clicking, right? Sometimes you make these roster changes, they don't quite click, and well, the Shell's a perfect team to test you on every front. These are players that have been around for a long time, know how to play the game, and know how to pressure young teams.
Yeah, we talked about Rob the Turtle playing a lot of Halo 3. Bid did as well as Piles, and I believe Stan did as well. So just some definite old heads on that side of the Shell, and very wise players. In fact, he's gonna have this snipe on top turret. This is a position where he literally can't die here. He is the anchor for his squad. He's gonna be, him staying alive here is very beneficial. He does get the sniper off the map as he sees the overshield. That's gonna be a big play.
Right, everything's going to be about tower control on Livefire now, in particular because of a change they made in Season 3. The Shroud Screen, right? It's deceptively powerful, but if you control tower, you control the Shroud Screen, and the Shroud Screen also lets you control the overshield, so it kind of swings the favor of the game. So you're going to see a lot more tower control on Livefire compared to what you were seeing in Season 2 and Season 1 of the Halo series.
And you talked about it, right? You talked about that chemistry. You know, the two players on the Lies are kind of new to the squad. And, you know, you talk about how sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't. Slayer is kind of one of those game types where I feel like that these lower chemistry teams have a chance to kind of bring it back. So this is their chance to kind of tie the series up.
Right, and the thing about Slayers, it's about the individual performance, right? You're waiting on one of your players to really pop off and give your team some momentum. Look at how Piles picked up that overshield, right? Kept his profile low. He sprinted, jumped up, and kept his sprint active, and then slid off touch to keep his body low, just able to get around that corner. It gets him the overshield. Although they don't get a lot of kills from that overshield, they don't give up a life right away. He's at least able to get one, and the rest of his team were able to keep Lies on a trade for trade basis. You'll take that at the end of the day.
Shell is up by 3 here. On board with Sylvanic. Watching for the spawns. It looks like the spawns will be at B, so this is going to be a push from him on top of this screen. He's got to play this slow. If he takes too much damage and he's the first one to die here, Shell could make a little bit of a push towards A. That's going to be really aggressive in this situation. He's got 2 players. He takes out 1, but ends up taking out himself as well. A 2v2 situation now.
And 7 just so exposed, but somehow gets away. And that's where individual talent can bring you through on a Slayer, right? The only thing that matters is getting the kill. And some of these players are so hyper efficient. When it's the 1v1, that's where they are the best. And you're seeing that time and time again from Lies. They're not necessarily playing a better macro game than the Shell, but they definitely are showing off on the individual prowess. Piles, he gets the triple, but 7, I guess, oh, he makes it close, baby.
There's that new meta right there. You know, a lot of players not charging up that plasma pistol due to the charge time being increased a crap ton. So a lot of players opt to just spam it now. It does a lot of damage. Able to get down shields very quickly here. You see Bid once again on that primary spot on top tower. He's got the sniper in hand as well, and that overshield coming up. You talked about it. Top tower being a very important part, but he's got a lot of players to deal with here. He spots 1, not going to be able to take him out. Stan's going to be there to clean up that kill. You see the collapse there, but Bid is ready for it. He gets a beautiful snipe. That's going to be 2 down. That OS is still up.
And the sniper in the most powerful spot, right? The second anyone tries to peek that overshield, he's going to have the advantage on this kill. And this is where you can really see this game change. It's all about this push that's coming from underneath, right? Is Bid aware of these players that are coming? He needs to keep this sniper alive and away and wait for his team to come and finish this collapse.
He does play his life. He's got another player on top of him on top tower, but again, the finesse. 3 down. Kid Nasty, the last player alive, now stuck in a position. He goes down as well, and that's a little bit of a staggered spawn too. If they can act on these spawns on A, which you see Rob the Turtle already doing, we'll have a 3v4 situation, but that spawn does come up quick as it is Slayer, and Bid Teaches continuing to hold this top tower.
And sometimes it's the subtle things that you do in a game that make the big difference, right? Bid could have went for a flashy snipe, tried to finish a player off in B, but he realized how important he was to stay alive, delay, and slay, right? Make sure that your teammates get there. Let your overshield be that point, that entry fragger. And although he hasn't necessarily gotten a lot of kills at this back tower, what he has done is he's keeping the Shell in the forward position. He's keeping Lies back, right? And being that player is so important for your team. It's not really going to show up at the end of the stat sheet, right? 6 and 5 for Bid Teaches, but what he's done in this last 10 kills has been so valuable to his team.
You hear that, everybody? KD, not everything. In the game of Halo Infinite, you're seeing it right there on a Bid. 3 down though for the Shell. Sylvanic gets a couple big kills. They force the spawns onto B, but now they've got to play a little bit of defense. That OS is not coming up for another 20 seconds or so, more slays do have to come through. And you see the OS and the snipe actually come up at the same time, so 6 minutes, a very vital part of the game.
Sylvanic's on this hunt, right? And it's about getting behind everyone as this overshield's coming up. He needs to complete this collapse while Facties grabs this overshield. Facty puts it on, and this is the opportunity that Lies has been waiting for, right? That extra shields might just be enough for them to get this game to even. As we approach the end game, it's about who's gonna put their king in a vulnerable spot, right? Who can get the most attack vectors in as possible. And as this game gets tighter, that's where Lies really have the chance to pull something away.
Oh my gosh, beautiful job by Kid Nasty with a sniper on bottom center, being in a very vulnerable position, still stays alive, keeps it within 3, continues to get a kill, another perfect out of him. And once again, playing his life, the sniper gonna be a vital part to the push of the shell as they spawn up on this tower side, and another snipe from Kid Nasty.
Oh, Piles almost gave up his head, but I love how Kid Nasty's staying forward, right? He's the point player for his team, but he's not overexposing himself at any time, right? He knows how valuable this sniper is. He's keeping it away from the shell while playing a very active role for this team. And now you're only within 2. You're approaching the end game. You have your star player with the sniper, but he just goes down, and it's at the most valuable time. The shell, reading that rotation, have now suddenly found a way to finish this game.
Yeah, he looked like he got stunned there, which is very unfortunate. He was in a prime position to stop that push on the outside, but guess who's got the sniper now? It's Rob the Turtle. He's got 4 bullets to work with. OS coming up as well, and the shell 3 kills away from closing out this Slayer.
And Lies, really what they're going to have to do is they're going to slow this game down. You can't really afford to push at this moment. You have one more fight for Overshield that's coming up. You can maybe try to put a player onto the flank to get this kill. And it looks like Kid Nasty and Sylvanic are on their way, right? This is going to be the important fight. It's coming down towards the big door. Can Sylvanic and Kid Nasty get through?
Yeah, they do. They get 2 kills here. They've got to stay alive, though. Rob is searching. Piles is there as well to bait. You see Piles sitting in the corner, waiting for them to cross through there with Avery.
Oh, no.
They get him down as well. 46 to 47.
It all came down to that flank, right? They were able to open up the map just in time. They get the overshield away, and now this game, we could basically call it even at this point. But a huge nade from Piles, and that extra shield, it's deceptive sometimes, Active. You think that you have more health than you do, and a massive death could spell disaster.
They get a kill, they get 2, 48 to 48, all trapped in A, and they still survive. 3 minutes, but time will not be a factor here. Bid is trapped. They get the kill on the Bid. 49 to 48, now 49 to 49. It's all tied up.
Who wants to be the aggressive player, right? Who's going to be the one that goes forward? And I think Seven's thinking about it. But here is Stan. He gets caught out.
Oh my word. That is why positioning is one of the most important things in the game. It is no lie. Lies has just tied the series up 1-1.
And oftentimes it comes down to who's going to be the aggressive player, but your aggressive player needs to have help at the end of the game, and there's no help, right? There's no one there to help him. And Bid, right? Shout out to Bid for getting this stick, because if he doesn't get this stick, it's game over. But you go to this point and you're saying who's going to be the forward player, and you're going to see this push eventually come in over through top middle. He thinks things are clear, thinks he can take on a 1v1, but Seven, he's waiting. And you can see Sylvanic and Seven playing together, having that top mid covered. Stan, there's no one there to help him, right? There's no angle for him to end this 1v2, and his teammates probably scratching their heads saying, why are you so aggressive? Because remember, before all this happens, look at where he is on this map after the stick kill, right? So when we go forward past the stick kill Active, where is Stan in this fight, right? He's over at C-Plat.
Yep.
Why push forward without the rest of your team? It's okay to play forward, but you have to do it together, right? It's 49-49. It's not time for heroics. You aren't Captain America. You're not that guy quite yet, Stan.
You know, I think what the problem was I think he thought his teammates were going to go towards mud maybe, and that's where small talk comes into play. I talk about this all the time. His teammates did spawn in mud, so I think he thought they were going to push through mud, but instead they rotate towards back tower, which leaves him alone. And again, we only have little indicators on your screen, so he has no idea. There's probably no small talk going on, and that's what happens. Positioning, small talk, not there, game over.
Right, and that could be the play, right? Send those players through mud. The problem is that you're not accounting for the variable over at A, right? So if you want to stack 3 players towards mud, push through, but then your top player is always going to be preoccupied because there's a player at A watching that top cross. So I don't necessarily know if it's the right play, but it is a play. I think the play that they made was disconjointed. It wasn't together. And like you said, it's the lack of small talk, right? You can make the wrong play and make it work, especially in a 49-49, because it's just one kill. But there needed to be a team call. There needs to be a clear IGL who's deciding what's going to happen in that game situation.
Very, very important. A couple words could have changed that entire game, and you know, we spawned on mud, we're pushing tower. And and maybe it did happen. Maybe Stan with it. We don't know what happened in the very ending of that game. It gets very chaotic as well. Garrett, I'm sure you've been, Tools, I'm sure you've been in part of games like that where it's 49-49. The comms, sometimes for some teams, the comms just get crazy and you just, you know, everyone's freaking out, everyone's on edge. And then sometimes you have those beautiful comms where everyone's quiet and, you know, very informed decisions are made. But what a great job by Kid Nasty. I mean, he was a big factor in this game to bring that game back. They were down by, I think, 4 or 5 kills there. But here we go. Game number 3, the Shell and Lies tied up 1-1.
Yeah, it could have been double digits. So now, how does the Shell respond, right? Giving up a game that was so clearly theirs. They're going to have to find a way to quickly get back into this one, reestablish who they are in the game. Well, it's going to come down to the shock rifle control, in my opinion. Who gets that gun? Who's able to put it to work and hit the big shots? So often this game's determined by just one weapon.
Beautiful job by Rob. Gets the kill, gets the shock rifle, but some beautiful nades there. Take him out. They do get the trades. That's going to be a 2v2 situation. Now Kid Nasty stuck in the pipes by himself, pushes too aggressively, and he gets taken out as well. So you see right there, Shell does have that shock rifle back in hand. They have a grapple for the ball, and they now have pipe control.
I always get nervous when you try to grapple that ball up. Half the time, I always feel like I'm going to send myself out the window, but Bid able to get this in, and look at how much his team has spread out from him, right? Stands towards his right and Piles is towards his left, staying in the L, right? If you looked at a top-down map, you'd see an L holding this ball, and what that does is it prevents Lies from ever having quick access to this ball. It's the most effective way to hold in oddball, and now what's so important for the Shell is for Bid to recognize when he needs to drop and help, and so far been very effective from the Shell at knowing when to hold, when to fight. They need to execute.
Lots of players on the A side. Rob does go down. You can see the X on his screen right there. So you see Bid is going to be rotating this ball towards top of gold, but he has to fight through. I like the idea to drop ball here and fight. They get 2 down because of that, and they're now aggressing on the third. Kid Nasty throws a beautiful denial nade there to stop Bid from pushing through. Bid puts the timing in, gets the double, stays alive, and still has a shock.
Just look at how much time is going to burn off the clock. Lies are struggling to get forward off their spawn, and Bid's in a perfect place to put pressure. He doesn't necessarily have to get the kills, but he's just putting pressure immediately, and they're having to do so much work just to get forward, just to have the opportunity to try to fight for the ball.
I think that's the big thing too. You see Facti had to take a position there to go towards batteries because the rotations are just so strong from the Shell here. They get 51 seconds of uncontested time. They put ball back on the bottom center of the map in the most vulnerable position, and now they're going for slays once again. It's gonna be up to Lies to work together on this pipe side. They get 1, but Rob is gonna get 2. Those low percentage kills come in clutch.
And it's so effective the way that the Shell have been playing in pairs, right? They're always making sure that when one player takes a fight, there's another that has quick access. And when there isn't a player there to help, you see them leave fights early, like Rob just did with this ball rotation. He saw players realize that his help wasn't as close as he'd like it, so he hits the rotation right away. And now he's gotten himself in a position where he can help Piles and Bid, and they're always playing a dynamic pair. They're always having each other's help in these fights.
Kid Nasty does get a kill right there. Has no help at this time, like you talk about. Ends up going down. Does a lot of damage, though. Because of that, Piles is now 1 shot. The ball does fall off the map. That's 3 down. It looks like the Shell does have the favorable spawns here on pipes.
Right, but they can't play for it right away just because of the number situation. There's just not the numbers to facilitate. So they have the better position for this fight, but they have to find the slays as well, and that's where it can be difficult. Doesn't matter if you have the better position for the for the ball grab. You have to be able to have the better position for the slays when you don't have timings, right? And that's where Lies were just a little bit better. They had a little bit better timing for that situation, and that's going to lead to them getting their first second of ball time.
And 1 second's all they get, but you'll see they end up going for a setup here. 3 down for the Shell. The last player is going to be Bid. He gets 1 kill, puts 1 player down to no shields. Look how much Bid is doing by himself. But as I say that, a great live by 7. He's going to stay alive and create time for Facti to push on through. And Lai's playing a very staggered Halo, but it's working out for him.
Yeah, sometimes the staggers work, right? You think of it as a Congo line, right? It's just one player after the other. They're floating into the next. You take one player's life, another one pops up. And although you're not playing necessarily together, you still have the timing to facilitate at least a fight. The problem is the Shell just have the better spawns, right? Able to continually refill in a way that facilitates a hold at the end of the day. But Lies are starting to get a couple more slays, right? They're starting to look a little bit better, but the Shell, I think the way that they've been playing together as a unit, in particular during fights, right? The two-man punch that they've been so effective at thus far has really made the difference in round 1.
And that two-man push has gotten them this first round. And what a convincing round number 1 in this oddball game. After losing that 50-49, the Shell come back convincingly to win that first round 100, I believe, I believe it was 8, which is incredible. Incredible plays and incredible rotations as well that we saw out of the Shell.
Right, and I think it was very clear to see was how it was basically the Congo line versus the holding hands, right? We saw so often that the team of Piles and crew were able to have players on top of each other, constantly fighting with each other. On the other side, Lies, it was more about the refill, right? And when you don't have the timings, or if you don't get an individual slay, it can be detrimental. Now, guys, I believe we did have a crash in this game, I believe active, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to see round 2 from the observer's POV.
It's all good. We will keep you guys updated, but I got to talk about Rob again, man. Like, you know, Piles is having an incredible round number 1, but oh, looks like we're gonna get the in-game comms as well, which I actually love. This is kind of something unorthodox that I like. Tools, I like to hear the comms a little bit while I commentate, because it's really nice to be able to like go back and forth and just listen to how they're dealing with situations and such like that.
All right, so we're trying to figure out whose POV that we have right here. This is going to be Bid's POV. So this is from the Shell side, right? We're gonna be able to listen to their comms on this way through, and it's gonna be interesting to see how Lies try to get back into this one, just because of how, as they dominated they were in round 1. They really didn't have many bright spots to speak of, and that's gonna be a huge momentum boost for the side of the Shell.
Yeah, I really like, I mean, I think the momentum is such a huge, it's such a big thing to have, especially in Halo Infinite. You can kind of just really build off of that, and it's just like a tug of war back and forth. Something I love to see as well is these beautiful shots from Bid as he tries to stay alive, utilizing this grapple to play his life on the tower. They do take him out, and that's going to be the very first piece, and now they're going to try and push through on this advantage.
And right now it's about getting this ball over towards C. He wants to get that rotate, and you know, sometimes you have to settle, right? You have to say, hey, I'm not going to be able to get this rotate, but I can get it in the open. And although the spawns aren't necessarily favoring the Shell, they are going to have a chance to at least keep this ball out of the hands of Lies, and sometimes that's more important. Unfortunately, I don't think the Shell are really going to be able to win these slays out. This is kind of a gifted spawn, though. Look how quick he has access to this ball, and I don't think Slavonic expects this at all.
Yeah, and he's alone as well. He gets the beautiful kill there. That's going to be a piv, we call it. Stays alive. Now has presence on bottom elevator as his team makes their way through. You see Piles does go down here, but he's going to be able to bait him to take out another player there, and now pushing aggressively on the top tower. They do put that ball down bottom center, but you see Shell grabs it right away to continue to get time. They have a little bit of Lies have a little bit of a lead here, but one more round of slays and we could see a tie.
I really love how Bid is playing around the ball, not necessarily getting too caught up that the ball is down, but using it as a tool to find kills and then make sure his team has just a better access to a more established hold, and it's leading to kill after kill. These slays leading to more ball time for his team. And although it hasn't added up quite yet, you're starting to see that these slays are going to have huge impacts in these next couple rotations.
And speaking of slays, I mean, I can't wait to see how Bid kind of flourishes throughout this season. I think Bid is just an incredible. You see how much damage he's doing, how much presence he's showing on the map. His shot is just very accurate, but also positioning on point as well. See the unorthodox hold with ball on top tower. They're going to remove that very quickly, but they do get a kill, and they do continue to rotate this ball through while Bid is staying alive the entire time, approaching 50 seconds as a shell.
Yeah, I mean, so effective at using those that ball as a bait and ensuring that they're just trapping individual players from Wise into situations where they have no chance to fight out, right? This camouflage, it looks free for 7, but Bid, he's there. It's a trap, right? And that's what we're seeing constantly is just the traps that are being laid by the shell and how they're chomping away at the Wise opportunities.
Gotta love that scan used by Bid as well. You know, Mickwin talked about that a little bit in his interview there. Scan, definitely an underutilized tool in the game of Halo Infinite. You're able to see so much, get so much information as well. And you see once again, lots of slays are coming through. The shell still maintaining ball control inside of Pipes, still getting this time as well, and Bid still playing his life on the top of Pipes. No push is coming through here, but they do realize there is pressure coming on the long haul side. So you see he's playing ball on the bottom of Pipes right now, and now they're only 15 seconds away from closing out this game number 3.
Right, you're gonna see some desperation pushes from the side of Lies, and they're getting these kills, but I don't necessarily think it's gonna create any more opportunities for them. In fact, I want to kind of go and listen with the shell and see what they're going to sound like towards the end of this round as things are getting a little bit more mixy. What is pushing them over the edge? I think we can learn that in the comps.
Top red, weak. I'm pushing batteries right now.
Commando, weak.
Push on the back as well from low cat maybe or ammo box.
Top red, guys.
Bridge.
Watch out, bottom fucking mid. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Bottom mid.
This shit, Robert. Nice play, bro.
He was here, guys.
I'm trying to help you.
One shot commando to Pipes. Get nasty.
Batteries.
He's village.
Pushing towards A, boys.
Yeah,
Getting
Running in a second.
Tower.
by yourself, Stan.
By yourself,
Alright, let's play for this camo, guys. Let's play for this camo.
Hey, we can kill ball. Help him.
Okay. They're in BR, dude.
Absolutely have ball, bro.
Watch out, glass.
Hey, I'm watching you. Just reset, man. I'm watching
We got
ball.
camo, right?
We got camo.
Yeah.
Top A.
In long.
Watch the turbine. He's half. I'm pushing towards long call. One glass.
He's glass, bro. That's your kill. Top O.
You got one. You got nades. He's throwing the ball out.
Yep.
Come on.
I can get the ball with camo.
Hey.
No.
Get two. Get the kills.
There's
One kid pipes.
Wait, Sylvanic's half. Okay,
Bottom A. Turn around, pause.
Pipes and bottom A. You guys have to commit to something. Reset. We're
Pipes.
going. Naded it.
Don't.
Dude, there's another kid pipes, bro.
Plenty of
Gonna be two
time.
guys on me.
Don't play glass. I'm gonna wait. I'll just play
saying,
out
We
the
got a
tower.
good spawn.
I'm going BR. You guys fill out mid.
What's top gold?
Alright, I'm gonna push
top
towards
A?
tower with you.
Top
I'm
gold.
pushing towards tower with you. I need bad ledge.
I'm down.
Dude.
Looking red.
Top A, I put a shot in.
Bottom tower on me. He's one shot, bro.
Stairs.
Front
Watch tower
tower.
stairs.
Front tower.
Alright, watch tower stairs, dude.
One shot turbine. Absolute kid
Oh,
nasty.
still stairs.
Red pipes, absolute boys.
Yeah.
He's going up the turbine. We make a
I'm not
play.
mid,
or no?
Facty.
We're good.
Facty's weak.
Get live off. You gotta kill that.
Still one, bro.
I mean, one dead.
I
You got
traded.
two.
He's in pipes. He's kind of weak in pipes.
Needles.
Coming out pipes right now.
Pipes still. Hey, bro. Absolute on the ball. No fucking way, man. Bullshit. Top red. Alright, we have one break.
One push.
Hey, we go here.
Watch out long, guys. I'm already one shot.
Alright,
I just gotta go. Y'all have to go.
I'm going now, but I'm gonna die here.
You have no choice.
We can pipes, bro. Where are we?
I should have just sprinted
Yeah,
forward.
y'all should just went straight through pipes.
Yeah.
Dude. Alright.
That's my fault. It's my fault, Stan. I'm sorry.
All good, bro. Just chill out. We're good. I just should have milked some more time at one point in the game. Pushing towards tower again. There. He's Manger.
Watch out, half ball.
Top tower, weak as well. Manger and top tower. I'm one shot, bro. I'm gonna get
I'm going
pushed.
for ball. No,
Come
I'm
on.
sniper, guys. One shot, village.
Yo, mango pit, guys.
Manger pit. I'm pushing tower then. Come on. Got him.
That was him.
Nice. I have C then. bro. I'm looking your
Watch out, guys.
inside.
He's coming to turbine already.
Dead.
Dude, just where did they cross?
Another one in pipes, bro. Fuck.
Hey, you're good. Batteries, two. Needles right now. One shot. They're gonna just soar out.
Don't die.
One C-Vic.
I just got
camo.
killed. I know.
Where they going? Tell me where they're going.
Can't see. Top A, bottom A.
Dead.
Together. Gonna be bottom mid right now.
I'm looking bottom mid. Give me a sec.
I'm here with you.
I'm looking bottom mid.
Cargo's
Not
weak.
here. Manger, one shot.
Cargo is still weak.
Bottom tower, one shot, bro.
One shot top A. One turbine, one shot.
Shot needles, one shot needles.
Two different things. Good shit, bro.
Another one there. Good shit. Two dead. Bottom A.
Manger.
You went bottom BR.
Hey,
2 dead.
if he pushes me, I'll kill him. Gonna be on bid.
I fall weak.
One shot kid nasty.
Alright.
One shot hell. 2 hell, dude.
Dude, he's going bat ledge, a ball.
I can't bottom A, bro.
We just need a reset, bro. We're just not even working together at all.
I was trying to
We got one.
Shit. I'm bid weak.
Oh my god. There's two there, bro.
Cross, what's going on?
There's two in gold.
You're in bad ledge.
There's two there. There's two right beside each other.
Not bad ledge.
There's two there. Both one shot.
Got one.
That shit stand.
I'm red stairs.
You still here?
He got
What
slain.
the hell?
I have nades for you. I have nades for you. I have nades for you.
There's like two
We're
kids
good.
there.
We're good.
I got hell, bro. Three.
They're coming, stand.
Get a beat
On
down.
my back, I don't have anything. Beat him down.
Last two was C. I died from C. I don't know where he's going. Watch mid
Your
mid.
cross.
Bottom mid. One shot bottom mid. Dead.
I got camo.
Responding C.
We're dead.
Don't die.
Go for camo.
Yeah,
Just bait it.
Go
Just
for
bait it if we have to. Bait it.
I'm gonna play
They're gonna
trippy.
run for it. Just bait it.
There's a kid, single stack, weak. He's very weak. Just letting you know, he's one shot.
C's have two of them.
Pushing glass.
Two
help
C's
you.
have. Too long. A and long.
I got one.
He's gonna
Camo.
Don't die for that. Nice.
Trade
Come on, good.
Double stack.
Where are
right
they
now.
spawning? Where are we
Spawn
spawning?
A. Spawn A.
Trippy. Pushing you.
One glass.
Behind me. They are behind me. They are behind me.
Alright, you're gonna have to rotate it.
I kill that.
One to the pipes, one shot 7.
Alright, give me time. I'm here. Batteries by
Needles,
camo box.
One shot needles, guys, and then
Camo
blue
box.
box. Alright, stay alive.
Blue box guys, box and tower. He's top A.
I'm here, Sam.
Top A and bottom A.
I got one.
There's 2 Sam.
Two there.
They're both
One
weak.
for ball, Sam.
One's
one,
there.
bro.
Nice.
The other one's
Top
We're
tower.
in this wall to
You
red.
have
I'm
gold. I
going to red.
spawned long.
Stand.
Listen, they're gonna be pause. Get ready to watch long hold with me. Come here.
Someone cut pipes.
Pause, come here.
I got one.
Nice,
Pause,
bro.
watch long.
Bottom mid cross. I'm watching
long.
the bottom mid.
Too
They're
long.
gonna go turbine stand. They're
Oh,
gonna go
nice.
turbine.
I got one.
Push top 8. Just be
Listen, they're
careful.
sneaky.
I got naded, bro.
I have your fake cross.
I'm gonna
Right
throw
now,
that one.
camo box weak. Camo box weak. And top A, I'm here at it.
Say that, bro.
Top
Put it
A.
on the map. Speak on ball.
There's
You
I'm
right
with you,
there.
right?
Big top red 7.
Hey.
On the
We see
commando.
Bottom tower is one shot.
Long out. And ball. You dropped it.
Bottom red and top red. I got the top.
I think Mangler's
Bottom
stand.
red, bottom red.
Mangler, 2 shots stand.
There'll be two dead.
Got him. I'm pushing C
It's gonna
flat.
be or some shit. Work together, guys. You guys are not working together.
Pushing C. Long call.
One shot. I got a god spawn.
Got him. I naded sneaky. I'm pushing.
Outside them. Get your
ball.
ball.
Nice.
A, hell.
Hell, I can't help you.
Didn't die.
And
Let's
let's
get
go
turbine and then camo. You can probably get a snake.
Pipes weak. I'm going for camo.
I
We're
got
gonna
it.
spawn. Oh god.
Pipes one shot, bro.
Just get me.
I can't help you, bro.
I'll stay alive bottom mid. I'm good.
Stop going.
I'm A bid.
And long, bro. And going.
He's one shot long,
I got that
guys.
shit. He's glass.
Shot at me, bro.
One shot glass 7.
I got one.
They're behind him.
Shut him out, dude.
There was a guy in long.
Long,
Long
and gold.
and red. Long and bat ledge.
I'm watching the
I
ball.
can't get him. He's one shot long. Or very weak.
We're gonna be on ball.
Picky.
Bait it.
Get eyes on it. Don't worry too much about this ball. Focus on the kill. The next kill.
He's gonna be tired.
I spawned A.
I'm pushing across right now. Pushing across right now. I cut
Shot
off
long, so my
Ball's
you
weak.
got damage. Wanna go, pause?
I'm
Red
watching
stairs.
you.
Red stairs. One shot. Play my life, bro. I'm out of the play, bro.
Sneaky.
Sneaky, bro. Sneaky.
I killed one.
I
Last one shot.
one
Got
shot
him.
sneaky, bro.
Come
They're sneaky.
Right there.
Bottom red right now.
Is he weak?
Coming. He's
Yeah,
coming.
Yeah,
He's
just watch it.
Eek, I need
He's
help.
gonna be. I'm
I'm
coming right
pushing
now.
red stairs. I'm pushing red stairs to you.
Can't help you,
Red
bro.
stairs, 2 there.
I'm coming out to the fight.
One was one shot.
The ball's in a terrible spot, bro.
I needed red stairs and I needed top red, bro.
Bottom tower, guys.
Top right on me. You just fell. Low cap.
I'm here, bid.
Okay.
Get eyes on this ball.
They're gonna be flanking guys for tower, I think.
Batteries in the open.
Batteries.
One
Bottom
bad.
tower, bottom tower.
You guys are all top A right now.
Let's fight tower, let's fight tower.
Hey, I'm here.
Alright, I'm coming tower with you.
He backed up, that's him.
Silo. I needed it. He's
2 in long,
down.
weak. Alright, one's in long.
I'm pushing
Wait,
back
Sam,
long.
let me
2
go.
shots needles going out the batteries.
He's right here.
I'm here, bro. I'm challenging left. I got left.
I got one.
Trippy.
2
Nice.
dead. 2 dead.
I'm gonna
This
catch
is our
some.
play. Bad ledge. One shot with ball.
I
Dead.
think they're A.
Heaven, going pipes. He's
Yeah, okay, I'm
trapped.
gonna push it up.
One shot
I'm gonna
pipes,
push it up.
One shot pipes, trapped.
You gotta go first. I'm ready.
Yeah, they're gonna be behind me in A. Or C,
Stay
C,
in goal with the ball. Stay in goal with the ball.
I'm staying gold.
I'm watching cross. Blast. One shot right there, 7. One shot right there, 7. Blast, weak.
I killed one. Top right on me. I
Turn right,
traded.
weak.
You dead. 3v2. 3v1.
Shit.
Thank God. Good call out.
And there it is. The Shell take it in 3 rounds. And honestly, Gary, we got to talk about that. I mean, it's things started to fall apart there in that round number 2. We started to hear a lot of frustration, but they were able to pick it up at the end and make it work.
Yeah, honestly, the Shell, I think they might need a team of therapists to deal with them after that game. It got really stressful in there, and sometimes you need the stress to get yourself through, but it definitely felt like we saw a breakdown in round 2, and then we saw them pull it together in round 3 to get it going, but it was definitely a little bit of a back and forth. I don't think that's kind of the game that they want to play, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got the job done this time, but definitely the comms a little bit more stressful than I think they were intending.
All the Shell now going to be up 2-1 in the series. This is do or die for Lies here. They have to obviously win this one to bring us to a game number 5. And I mean, what do you think, Tools? Do you think that they're capable? I mean, they showed a lot of life there in that second round, of course, in that third one as well. They ended up getting 75 points and then just kind of broke down towards the end. But it just seemed like, especially on recharge, they were able to utilize those crosses really well towards, you know, the end of that second round and the beginning of that third. I just feel like the chemistry's starting to look a little better in my eyes.
Yeah, I think Lies were always playing sort of the same game throughout that oddball, but it was more that the Shell just started to play a little bit more separate. They weren't as tight and clean as they were on some of those rotations, and the crosses just happened to be way more effective because of that.
That's a very good point, but we're hopping on to now game 4, which is going to be, of course, I believe it's going to be Empyrean here, and
it's gonna be,
it's not going to be okay. Yeah, Street Strongholds. I would say there's no Strongholds on Empyrean unless they just added it. But hey, we're going to Streets. Streets is one of those maps where I really like the changes, and I got to talk about them because I feel like these changes they affected the game a lot more than I thought they would. And we're talking about, of course, the red rack timing changes, and of course also the ammo changes. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it really shifted the meta drastically? I personally do.
And this map probably had the biggest impact because of the red rack updates, because let's be honest, sometimes Streets can turn into a little bit of a fiesta game type of how much there was available on the map. Obviously it's less available and it's not there as often. I still think there's some tweaks to be made on this map to make it a little bit better, like maybe removing some of the weapons still, just because of how much there is on this map. But that being said, it does play just a lot better. But the Strongholds, it can be brutal when you lose control of the weapons and you are put into a spawn trap. I oftentimes expect to see 7,500 point swings that are just so commonplace on this map.
We'll see if those swings come into play. Looks like the lobby is ready. Thank you everyone again for joining us. My name is Active and this is Tools. Of course, this is the HCS Open Series 4K qualifier. Of course, like we've talked about before, 4 teams from this qualifier will qualify for the 4K. 2 have already qualified. And honestly, you know, the 2, Mantra and Status Quo, you know, Status Quo being getting a new member, I believe, or I believe it's Piggy, King J, Cherished, and Diagram. And then, of course, Mantra, Super CC, Ace, Orderly, and Septified. Those 2 teams already qualified. Now we're looking for the last 2 to qualify for that 4K next week.
Yeah, both those teams with new players on the roster, and I think everyone kind of feeling the effects of the recent roster mania. You know, it trickles down. It's funny how one team change can really trickle down to everything else in the scene, because once one player gets replaced, you're going to see that impact about 10 teams, because that one player is going to go down and it all trickles down eventually. Ooh, I like love the start from Facty right there. That's having a clear game plan off rip, and you know, it didn't work that time, but you best believe it works a handful of times out of 10.
Well, he did get the kill, and they're going to get another one as well off of that. But yes, you know, having those starts there, you don't see it a lot. We saw, of course, Neighbor on his Twitter posting some, you know, some nade throws, you know, all the way across the map, some great nade placements, you know, to get weapons, etc. We don't see it utilized very often, and I think it might have a little bit to do with just the speed of Halo Infinite, the speed at which things happen. You see on your screen Lies with the rockets in hand defending B now. And because of that, you're going to see the shell push towards purple and go for A.
I love how patient that the Lies team has been on this rotation, right? They've had rockets for so long because of how slow they played the start. And now, while capturing, while having a 2-cap, they really have an opportunity to put a devastating blow early in this game. As soon as one player from the shell overextends and gets 2 caught out, that rocket's going to be a devastating tool of destruction.
And you see it is right there. He takes out one. He's still putting massive damage into multiple,
not
but
use the other rocket?
Yeah, he doesn't end up using the other rocket. You know what? I was actually thinking about that when we were watching. I was maybe guessing that he got a couple one-shot calls and didn't want to utilize it. But sometimes tools, you just got to throw it out. You just got to throw that rocket out and get that kill.
Yeah, I mean, he was struggling on Rob right there, and that was a kill that I think he could have just thrown that rocket in, get that kill, and then be able to singularly focus on the next kill. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that, but I love the recovery, right? Sometimes, you know, it's a bad play. You have to play past it. They're able to recover. They get into B right away. You see Facti already on this back rotation. They're out rotating the shell right now, and it's going to show. In the meantime, these rockets are going to be so important to grab. Who gets the better position? Who gets away with the tool to win this game?
That was a great trade by Facti right there, but stand in a position, go ahead and reset that A, and that because of that, Shell will continue to get points on the board. See rockets in the hands of Bid. Those rockets being utilized this time. He's got another one, but he's also got the Stalker. Look at him pop on through. He doesn't get 7 though. Beautiful kill right there. Rob's gonna get the trade, but once again, weapons on the floor. And I think the Shell do pick them up, and they do. This is where they can be utilized to really defend on this A side, and you see their defense right there. They have an AC hold, but all of Lies are trapped at PD, and they can continue to play defense with these power weapons.
Yeah, just playing so aggressive because of those power weapons. And now, for the first time, we're seeing a trip cap in for a team, and this is actually a vital moment for Lies to recover from. And I kind of want to go in with the listen. While everything's going wrong, what does this new team sound like while they're in the trip cap?
Be there, PD. 7, don't hop it. Just get ready to shoot.
No, I'm helping you B.
Laundry to tires. C-steps, piles weak.
You're in B.
I kill tires. Another
All
one
dead, all
tires.
dead.
Tires right now. So no, Dan's tires.
I hear you.
I have shots.
Nice. All dead.
Tell me where you spawn. I'm pushing up. We
I
can
just want C. I'll anchor C, guys. I'll anchor C.
On top A steps.
Don't die, Noah.
I got him weak, guys. They're gonna push.
I have your
ATM. He's hitting your shotty.
I got a melee. Nice. Pink again. ATM.
arcade.
Going pink.
Laundry free kill.
Laundry up, so if you have a
I needed laundry.
Tires, one shot.
Laundry dead.
Tires, one shot.
One pink, I'm pretty sure. I hear tires, one shot. I don't see him.
It was bid.
No, he is ATM.
He went into A, B. He's dead. Going over. 2 laundry.
Rockets, guys.
2 laundry.
I'll get spikes for
You want
rocket.
tires.
Laundry weak piles and 2 front A.
Yo, I got A-Gen.
Nice. I got him.
I use 1 rocket.
3 day, last one dead.
Last on me. If you don't plant, There's a shotty on my X as well. He's tires right now with shotty. Tires with shotty. Got in there. Went up front A. I spawned
They're gonna play for C probably.
Back up C. Yo, come with me. Shrug.
Guys, I'm just holding B with rockets.
Okay, Heaven, Rob.
One bottom mid. B
steps. I didn't get a melee.
One shot trash. One's my top C.
Crash, just one shot.
There's 2 top C. Both half. One has shotty.
They're in C heavy. I'm gonna play for A.
I'll kill C with the rocket. I got one. The other guy should be weak from the rocket.
Head.
Last guy's A.
I spawned up B. There's one back A right now, PD.
Okay, I'll hold C. You help him B.
Heaven, piles. He's in PD, one shot, piles.
There's one back A as well. I'm nading PD though.
Adrian, I shot him once.
Yeah, purple pushing you.
I'll look purple.
I need help in B. My tires. Caution.
Purple bit. I hit him with
me on me.
I'll hold C.
I'm one shot. I'm waiting for
Okay,
my seven.
ATM. ATM and tires, one shot pause. Tires, one shot pause.
B stairs.
ATM one shot.
Yo, I'm
Go
fine.
to C.
B stairs right now.
That's him. Nice.
And the B stairs and the B.
Oh, Cafe.
Alright, yo, don't death for here. No,
No, I'm waiting for you. Come with me.
Yo, listen, I'm not a.
Tires, right now.
I'll try tires. You went B step.
He's one shot me.
B step still, I think.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, B step.
B one shot. No.
B step trigger right there.
Nice.
Another shot.
Don't chow him. C-bow.
Spiking you. It's gonna be your BB steps. Just try to live.
I don't know if I can get there in time.
I'm coming.
Yeah, we're good. You're
Rockets in
good.
5 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, play for Rockets, guys. Play for Rockets.
One guy purple, Rob. Shotty's up, guys.
I traded tires.
Bottom B stairs. Fuck.
I'm looking at rocks. He's gonna get him.
Tossing.
Alright, you want benches.
Yeah, B, kill me. There's 2 benches. The one that pushed me for shotty.
I spawned B.
ATM kill me.
Coming up here. Probably laundry, bro.
Back here with rockets.
I killed B steps.
He's in A with rockets.
Fighting A,
Back here with
fighting
rockets.
A.
I hear that.
Back A
There's
bid.
2.
He's no more rockets.
Top one shot. 8 steps, back steps.
He's
Two
waiting.
cafe. Two cafe guys are going A still.
They're both one.
One shot.
A side stairs.
He's back at you, and then Cafe's still weak. Cafe's still one
I have
shot.
your cafe cross.
He's one shot. Nice, that's him. Play for B.
Cafe still. Last one, cafe and top C. Cafe, top C. They're split. Top
Cafe
A, back
weak, man.
weak. That guy.
Dead.
Top C
Yeah,
still
yeah,
one
yeah.
shot.
I killed A.
Top C still one shot.
Okay.
Up there.
Yo, Shoddy.
We're playing a pink.
He's winning pink, so
I'm with you.
Once ATM bid.
Charlotte.
I'm playing B with you.
He spiked
B
me.
steps.
I'm looking mid.
One shot B steps.
I can't see him. I can't get it back up.
I have purple.
Hold my Mando and tires.
Top C.
Tires for you.
Tires one shot. Laundry one shot.
I'll kill him. He's one shot for name.
Nice, guys.
MB.
You're fighting B alone, Noah.
I'm playing C.
Keep playing it. Yeah, I got him distracted. You got your
Yeah,
cross.
nice. Go get C.
Driveway two of them.
No,
Driveway two of them.
I'm
Driveway two of
coming.
them.
I'm coming through bottom mid.
Another one driveway.
They're both weak.
Another one in B on me.
I'm coming, Noah.
He's playing my plants.
I got
Last guy
another
plants. Last guy plants. 3 dead.
There's a
Just
shotty
like
down
my
front
cafe.
C.
They're spawning cafe on me. Where's the plants? I'm probably gonna die here.
I got trapped
There's one
around.
guy purple.
One shot C steps.
Heaven weak.
I'm looking heaven.
There's 2 playing PD now.
Yeah, I'll get rocks.
They're both half in PD.
I'm looking PD.
I'm going B with him.
There's one guy B steps. Chasing you. Two of them. Two B
He killed me.
steps.
He's got rocks there.
He killed me. 2 front C, I think.
Okay,
shot, B-roll.
one shot back D. Okay, one's on your right, back D. Let's go, baby.
3 dead. 3 dead.
There should be a red gun down on me.
Fight C with me.
I spawned PD.
Get A off so I can
Yo, I'll get A. Look front C.
Dead. ATM on me.
I'm looking.
I'm watching your push. Stay there, Noah. Front C. One shot front C. I got stuck. I don't know where from.
They spawn PD.
Okay, we're good. We don't have to get
Heaven. Yeah, we have a CB right now. Don't worry about it.
Keep milking. Yep, keep milking.
There's a 2A. 2A.
I'm with you. We need backup C. Get the shroud. I'm looking at your driveway.
One minute. Another one. 2 C stairs. 1 top C already. 2 top C.
I just got melee. I got one. There's one more there.
I killed one.
Killing spree.
I'm trying to buy red. Everyone's like cafe. PD?
Let's go, boys. Let's fucking go, guys.
They're that good, guys. Good aggression.
Yo, Noah, I like that play when you went tires and you backed down because you saw 2. That was fucking godly, bro. Like, that's good. That's how you do it, bro. You drew their attention, then Sylvain went see. Like,
Yeah, I let him know I was going to see. I'm like, please. I'm going to see.
That's how you should do it, bro. I'm happy. I was hoping you didn't challenge them.
Oh my word, we're going to a game number 5, and it's the matching armor out of lies that come through with a convincing game 4. Garrett, I know you want to talk about the comms in that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, people are probably like, man, they were on the comms for a second. That's because I said, Louis, if you touch that dial, I quit on the spot. I need to listen to this team, because that team, that's a new team. That team sounded very fresh. They weren't doing too much. Like, there's not one person getting too aggressive in the comms. They're doing so well, and I love the post game talk. Noah, that was so good. Like, keep doing that. They're giving them like a lot of positive energy in that comms, and that's what I love to see. Like, that's a huge momentum boost for Lies going into this game 5, and I think it shows a huge difference between the comms that we heard in game 3 and the comms that we hear in game 4, and that honestly that can be the X factor difference when we're coming into a game 5 Slayer.
I 100% agree with you. A lot of people can call it, cringy or whatever. Oh, they're being nice to each other. I think positive reinforcement is ginormous for the mental, especially in these high pressure situations. Lies, they sounded great. Like you said, there was no clutter, a lot of small talk going on as well. When you're in a game, and for those of you guys that don't know what small talk is, maybe you're new to Halo, it's essentially, there's a lot of information, but you're hacking it into a small sentence. I spawn here, I'm pushing here, and just give your teammate the knowledge of where you are, and if you have their back or not, if you're able to push with them, and you can take fights and make plays based off of that information. So we heard a lot of that coming out of the Lies, and like you said, a lot of positive reinforcement there at the end as well. Let's see if they can close out game number 5.
Yeah, really impressed with Lies, and I think what clearly was shown there is that they don't consider themselves, they are higher seeded in this, but sometimes when you have former pro players or players that have been around for a long time, it can be a little bit intimidating on the other side, but I don't think we're hearing any of that.
Well, we're gonna hop in to Lies here, hopping on board with Facti. Facti was doing so much damage towards the end there, and continues to do damage here. Only 2 assists, but has not died yet and still making presence on the map. You see the double push coming through here onto Blue. Puts the damage in. Once again, playing his life towards this utility side, and they have that top center presence as well, which can be vital.
And so far, Lies just playing very close with each other, but still separated at the same time. Oh man, Stan just gave Slavonic the little jukes right there. That's a tough spot to die from, but we are seeing Lies that they're close to each other, and the fact that they're able to clean up each other's kills, but they're not necessarily on top and trying to get a team shot with each other. And I think if they tighten up just a little bit more into this game, I think they have a real chance to pull away.
Again, Aquarius, one of the most, I believe, one of the most competitive maps in the scene right now, just due to the fact that it has a lot to do with individual skill. Of course, that thrust, heat wave being a factor, in the camo up top. See it once again. Facti going to continue to play his life here. Does peek out, which means he takes a little bit more damage, and that puts his teammate in a bad position as well. Because of that, Piles is able to clean up 2, and a 2-kill lead for the Shell.
I love looking at the kill feed sometimes when these players are in these fights and seeing the pinks. So you can tell which players love to use the pink. Piles put about 5 down right there, said please for the love of God clean this kill up, and they were able to do so. And now you're starting to see a potential moment where this game gets away from Lies, right? You gave up the camouflage, you're seeing the Shell start to get kill after kill, and notice how the Lies immediately slowed down this game. They're getting together, they're playing tight, and they're ensuring that they waste as much time off this camouflage as possible, and they're not even going to give Rob the satisfaction of getting a kill with that camouflage. Oh my God, they're still getting kills. This is so impressive, the way that they're able to play on their back foot. Sometimes the play is to slow down, wait, and trap the opposing team. A wonderful break from Lies.
I mean, that was absolutely incredible. They had the information that Seven was inside of Fridge, and he stays alive that entire time. They get the slays as well, but all the while, Shell is still up by 1 kill. These shocks being such a vital part of Aquarius as well. I didn't talk about them before. Silly me to forget about the most powerful weapon on the map. Rob the Turtle. And I have this heat wave in hand. You see the aggressive push on 2 players in the Fridge, and again, you see they're on their back foot, but they collapse and get the kills, and now a 5-kill lead.
Yeah, it's almost like we're seeing a flip of the script, where normally you think of the Shell as this methodical team that will make sure that they push in together. They're not going to play too fast, but right now they have been on a tear, right? They are just running forward, constantly trying to keep Lies on a cycle, and so far it's been effective. Look at the score and how much the Shell have been able to gain in just the last 2 minutes. This is like a 10-2 run on the side of the Shell.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of aggression and confidence out of the Shell as well. Seven's gonna push down bottom center, a little bit aggressive there, ends up going down. That's gonna be 2 down once again for Lies. Bid utilizing that thrust, plays aggressive there because he knows he has the thrust to stay alive as well. He tries to get this kill on Sylvanek, but that's a big kill. Sylvanek has to stay alive here, but you see the pressure continues to come through, and right now all the Shell needs are trades at this point.
Yeah, sometimes you can have one or two things go wrong, but you can never have two things at the same time go wrong. And that's, you're losing the macro game and you're losing the micro game at the same time. The 1v1 fights are going in favor of the Shell, and the team pushes are going in the favor of the Shell as well. And that's when games start to just spiral out of control. So far, we're seeing the Shell be very effective in their 1v1 fights, and then when they need to finish a collapse, they've been so effective time and time again. You're running out of space. You're running out of time. If you're Lies, if you're trying to get this game 5 victory, you can only give up maybe 1 or 2 more team deaths.
You can see the contrast of Ice on the side of the Shell. Bid 12 and 5 in a very important game number 5 here. Where at the other end of things, you see an unorthodox 2 and 10 out of Kid Nasty, finding himself isolated very often. At 40 to 27 now, the Shell looking to close out this game. 10 more kills, and they'll do it.
That's just such a tough spot for Lies. They just have not been able to get together in the way that's effective. And then, you know, those 1v1s that so often bring you time, right? They buy you time for your team to get together. You haven't seen any of those go in favor of Lies. The heat wave control has been consistent for the Shell. Right now, the Shell just playing a better game. A 13 kill deficit while you can only give up 6 more deaths. A huge task lies ahead for this roster.
Yeah, this is definitely improbable here, but we've seen crazier things. Just the amount of momentum. And after seeing that initial play there by 7 in that fridge side, like they wiped a complete push out of the Shell, but still they end up in a 47 to 33 deficit. Camo in the hands of Piles once again, the man to finish the job right here with 2 players in front of him on the fridge.
This is just too easy for them to clean up. With only 1 kill left to go, the Shell just played a cleaner game, and that's sometimes the experience that comes through. We're dealing with some younger players on the side of Lias, and you're seeing maybe that inexperience shine through game 5 situations, just not playing the game that they want to play. A frustrating moment for them, but they get far in this tournament, right? And I think they have the right pace, right? We've seen improvement after improvement for some of these players on this team. I think they can still keep their head held up high. I think there's a real chance that if they go to a LAN one day, that they qualify through the open bracket, the pools. They just need to get more of those repetitions in. I'll tell you, it's, you know, the Shell, they're going to do this every tournament, right? The players that are on this team, the experience that comes through whenever you're playing against a team that contains Rob the Turtle, they're always going to be ripe for upsetting teams just because of how good they are. And they gave Lies an important lesson in this 4K qualifier.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. There's you know, the more you go through these situations, the more you go through game 5s, the more comfortable you will be. I've said it before. I think Halo is 70% mental. I think there's so much that goes into that. Of course, your decision making, you know, knowing where to position, knowing when to push, when to be aggressive, when to be passive, but also just having confidence. And we saw a lot of confidence out of the Shell in that game number 5. They smelled blood in the water. They wanted to clean it up and finish the job, and they do just that. Incredible job by them. They will move on in the losers bracket, of course, and of course we'll see the Lies again. I'm sure this team definitely looks like they have a lot of potential. We talked about it. Both these teams, or at least Lies, made some big team changes, and you know, one of their first terms together possibly, and we'll see if they can continue on through other